Okay, here goes nothing. What's up, guys? This is ElliBob1 here. For viewers of my regular content, don't worry, I am still working on it right now. I'm hopefully going to get the raw file for that processed tonight. But this has come up, and as a fan, I feel I should address it. The discussion with the European Broadcast Union happened, and the decision that they have come to is that Israel should be allowed to compete in the Eurovision Song Contest next year. And this has caused the natural response from a lot of Eurovision fans. A lot of fans already calling for boycotts. A lot of fans expressing their outrage. I have no doubt that other Eurovision YouTubers are going to be expressing their content, if not before this, then in the near future, i.e. before this video goes out. I have no doubt that Weeby Blogs and ESC Gabe will be weighing in with their views, and I know in particular ESC Gabe has been very vocal on his views on this matter, so I have to imagine that he is going to be just as vocal now, if not more. And as a fan of the Eurovision Song Contest, I feel that I should just weigh in and give my opinions on what I've read so far. So there's already been withdrawals. The Netherlands and Spain pretty much immediately confirmed their withdrawal. Ireland followed shortly after. Slovenia shortly after that. I think the first thing I should say is that I don't think this is a shock that the EBU has come to this decision. I think the moment that Germany, or at least the German broadcaster, stated that they would withdraw if Israel got kicked out, I think from that moment it was pretty much set in stone that Israel would be competing. I think the moment that you have the largest financial contributor to the European Broadcast Union on your side, you're going to have massive influence yourself. I think Germany is the largest financial contributor. I think more so than the United Kingdom is. I don't know what the BBC has said on the matter. I know that they've reported on it, but they haven't said anything themselves, and I doubt that they will. You know, as if the BBC needs more reasons for people to hate it right now. But I just want to give you people my honest view on the result of this vote. I wish I could be doing it with a bit more of a smile on my face, but I don't think this is a subject matter I can smile about right now. And I wish I could be doing it with a bit less of a sore throat than I've got at the moment. But, you know, I can't exactly control that at this present moment. As I've just mentioned, I don't think this outcome is a huge shock. Again, the fans' outrage is understandable. I think in a lot of cases it's justified, given not just what Israel has done outside the contest, but essentially how a lot of fans have described it as Israel using Eurovision to justify their actions, that by getting these massive scores in the public vote like they've been doing the last 2 years somehow justifies their stance. And, you know, even I can't deny that that's been the case. And, you know, I've liked Israel's past 2 entries. I've made it very clear that I'm a sucker for that kind of music. I'm a sucker for ballads. I'm a sucker for the lyrics in both of those songs, both Hurricane and New Day Will Rise. You know, I was one of the few people that liked I Am What I Am, Malta's entry in the 2022 contest. So that gives you an idea, sort of like what I look for in songs. I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. I've always liked deep songs with meaningful lyrics. But even I have to say that the manipulation is pretty clear. And a lot of Eurovision fans have been turned off by it, and that is completely justified. That is completely understandable. I would even go as far as to say they're right. My honest view, though, is, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for it, I don't mind Israel participating in the contest. The main thing for me in this is the voting diaspora issue. The tools that have been in place that Israel have been able to implement, or more specifically, the people behind Israel's entries, whether it's the broadcaster Khan, the Israeli government, other people working on the songs for Israel. Basically, what they've been able to manipulate in the voting system. Of course, it was the case, you could use 20 votes, you can spread them out however you want. And obviously, they use that to get a whole load of people to vote using all of their 20 votes for Israel. In the United Kingdom, the past 2 years, our 12 points from the public vote have gone to Israel. And there has been no question at all, but those votes have been manipulated by those types of groups. I think if Israel are allowed to compete and that issue of the voting diaspora has not been addressed, basically you could still use all of your votes on one song, then I would have to question if I would do my regular Eurovision content. This is what I would like to see personally. I don't mind how many votes you are given on the Eurovision app, on your mobile, on your phone, whatever. It could be 20, it could be 10, it could be 25. I think there needs to be something in place where you can't use them all on one song. You set a limit. Let's say the voting limit is still 20, but you can only use a maximum of 5 on one song. 20 votes you can use. You can put 5 of them on one, 5 on another, 5 on a third, 5 on a fourth, or you could spread them out more proportionally. Whatever you want to do with that, as long as you can't just put them all on one song, then I think you would fix the issue of the voting diaspora and the voting manipulation. However, from what I've read so far, nothing like that has been suggested, let alone addressed. I know that they've supposedly talked about limiting the number of votes down from, I think it was 20 to 10, as well as trying to do something about outside manipulation, but it was barely a sentence long, whereas I think this should be the primary issue. I think this should be the primary factor. Unfortunately, that appears not to have been the case. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until around mid-March. That's when all the countries should be confirmed, both whether they're in or not, and who they are sending, both artist and song. And I will see if the European Broadcast Union has done anything further from there. This needs to be addressed. And yeah, I've got no doubt right now that the European Broadcast Union are probably on a damage control streak right now of trying to justify their position. And I know a lot of Eurovision fans are not going to buy it. Again, I have no doubts that there will be boycotts. I have no doubts that there will be protests. I have no doubts that fans will be telling people to watch other content in order to drop the viewing numbers down. Yeah, I have no doubt there will probably be some form of protest on the night of the contest itself during the broadcast. And again, I don't mind Israel competing in the contest as long as the voting issue is sorted. And I don't think it's going to be sorted. But again, I will wait. I will hope and pray that something is addressed. I will hope and pray that we get some more positive news in the coming months. I hope and pray that the BBC will take their fingers out of their arse and actually send something decent this year, but the last 3 years, I think, have proved that Sam Ryder was an accidental one-off. But again, I guess we'll have to wait and see on that. So to summarise my views, I'm not shocked that this has been the result of the vote. I don't mind Israel participating as long as the voting issue is sorted out. Do I think it will be sorted out properly? Probably not. One of the two things that get me excited for the year, the other being Christmas, which is ironically 3 weeks away. I hope that Eurovision will have some better news in the coming weeks and that things will hopefully look better, and this thing that so many of us love and is meant to be an escape from the terrors of the world and united by music, I hope can survive this. Some people might say it's not a factor, but the fact that the Intervision contest happened is a factor. And if enough people turn away from Eurovision, then that's only going to cause the Intervision to thrive. That's another just opinion I'm throwing out there. To say this is a dark time to be a Eurovision fan is an understatement. Again, we can hope and pray, but I reckon that's only going to get us so far. Again, as long as the voting issue is addressed properly, then my Eurovision content will go ahead. If it isn't, and I don't feel comfortable talking about the contest in the future, then I will have to boycott myself. I will have to boycott the Eurovision Song Contest this year myself. But again, I will wait and I will see what comes in the coming months. I have no doubt that you Eurovision fans will have your opinions as well. You will be vocal and you will be proud. And some of you will agree with me. I assume that most of you will disagree with me. But that's the beauty of the world that we live in, I guess. I hope and pray for the future of this contest. Because through and through, I will probably always be a Eurovision fan. But the future is uncertain. And when the future is uncertain, it can be scary. You don't know what tomorrow is going to bring you. But if we face tomorrow with our head held high, look into the dark abyss with a smile, face the onslaught with our voice loud and proud, then I reckon we'll make it through. God, that's the corniest thing I could have said to end that video.